Eso dijo Kennedy McKinney frente a miles de personas antes de subir al ring. Le dijo al mexicano que jamás podría vencerlo en su propia tierra, que solo peleaba para comprar comida, que ese ring le quedaba demasiado grande. Lo que McKinney no sabía es que esa noche iba a conocer al hombre más peligroso que jamás había enfrentado en su vida. Kennedy McKinney, 30 años, medallista olímpico, un peleador de élite que jamás había sido noqueado, un boxeador técnico, con un jab afilado y una derecha que podía apagar las luces a cualquiera. Del otro lado, un joven mexicano de 22 años, Marco Antonio Barrera, invicto, con cara de niño y pelo salvaje que volaba con cada golpe. El quintaesencial guerrero mexicano. La piel de gallina recorría a cada persona presente, porque todos sabían que aquella noche no se trataba de un simple combate, era un ajuste de cuentas, una respuesta a cada humillación lanzada antes de subir al ring. Empieza la pelea y Barrera no espera ni un segundo. Se va directo encima del estadounidense, sin miedo, como si todas esas humillaciones solo hubieran encendido más su rabia.
You saw McKinney wearing a Los Angeles Lakers, the professional basketball team jersey here in Los Angeles. He had the jersey on of Magic Johnson, known to you all around the world as one of the great basketball players and who returned to pro basketball just this week with the Los Angeles Lakers. But now to this fight, because this should be a corker, and the first hard punch landed by Antonio Barrera. A strong right hand.
Desde el primer golpe importante que conecta, el Foro explota. Barrera avanza, castiga el cuerpo, combina arriba y abajo y no le da ni un segundo de respiro a McKinney. Lo domina de principio a fin, marcando el ritmo como si ya supiera exactamente cómo iba a terminar esto. Si la pelea hubiera durado solo un round, el mexicano habría ganado de manera unánime.
In his career, he was in fact the night that he won the title from Welcome Nasita in desperate trouble in the 10th and 11th rounds of that bout. In fact, was down in the 11th round and knocked Nasita out in that same round, well behind on points, and you just saw that right hand, a corker by Kennedy McKinney. His first big punch. Now there's that left hook to the body by Barrera. He's an effective body puncher. And putting his punches together. Barrera moving forward. His last fight, November 7th, he stopped a talented contender, Eddie Croft, in 7 rounds in what was a magnificent performance at Caesars Palace in Las Vegas, Nevada. Last fight for Kennedy McKinney, August 26th. It took him 8 rounds to defeat the Irish sensation, John Lowy, in Chicago. But that was the only fight for McKinney in 1995. Carrera has been far more active. Fans are into this one. McKinney has a powerful right hand. Look out for it. It's a straight right. Barrera had a scintillating opening minute of this bout. Right hand catches McKinney off balance. McKinney answers back. Now Barrera comes back. Barrera trying to bang the body of McKinney. McKinney promised not to box and move, but to stand in there and slug with Barrera. Some think that would be a mistake. Bell brings to the end of round 1, a red-hot first round here at the Great Western Forum.
El segundo round fue más de lo mismo. Barrera pisó el acelerador desde el primer segundo, caminando hacia McKinney con esa determinación fría que ponía los pelos de punta. Conectaba golpes claros, controlaba la distancia, y el estadounidense no encontraba la manera de detenerlo.
He made 5 successful defenses of the title and then lost the crown in August of 1994 to Villani Bungo. McKinney is another fighter who has had some personal problems outside the ring, a battle with drugs, but he's been clean and sober and back in the ring and fighting well. Now trying to get his jab to work here in round number 2. If McKinney can get that jab to work to good effect, he can follow it with the straight right hand, which is a bread and butter punch for him. But Barrera moving forward and pounding away. Barrera with a sensational start in this fight. McKinney wants to get his jab into a rhythm now to keep Barrera off of him. Watching closely, I'm sure, in England tonight, Prince Nassim Ahmed, the 126-pound WBO champion. Good right uppercut by McKinney. Ahmed and Barrera, it would seem, are in a collision course, a showdown someday in the next year or so. And what would have to be an unbelievably big fight, especially if it takes place in England. But right now, McKinney fighting better here in round number 2. Carrera trying to work that left hook to the body. It was a surprise to see Barrera able to land that right hand of his to the head so quickly in this bout. Within the first minute, he had landed 2 strong straight rights that had McKinney in some difficulty. McKinney told me earlier this week he thought Barrera had a left hook only, and that was it. He said, I'll give him that. He's got a good left hook, but that's it. Well, he tasted the right hand here, and I'm sure he's changed his mind about that. The referee is Pat Russell. Good strong right hand by Kennedy McKinney. That's that straight, quick right hand we told you about. It's a powerful weapon for him. Pat Russell warns the guys to watch the clash of heads. Carrera digging the left hook to the body as the bell ends. Round 2.
Pero para el tercer round, algo cambió en McKinney. Encontró su jab. Empezó a usarlo para mantener la distancia, para frenar el avance del mexicano. Y cuando lo combinó con su derecha, por primera vez en la pelea, Barrera comenzaba a sentir el daño. El estadio lo notó. La pelea de repente ya no estaba tan clara.
Just a year ago was not even a world champion. And in less than a year, he is making his 5th defense of the championship. That's why he is ranked right now on most of those pound-for-pound lists as number 5 or 6. Most people consider, at least so far in his career, only Roy Jones and Pernell Whitaker, De La Hoya, and perhaps Felix Trinidad is above Marco Antonio Barrera on those top 10 pound-for-pound lists. McKinney begs to differ and hopes to show the world that those lists are wrong tonight. There's a crunching right hand, though, by Barrera. McKinney has the ability to mix it up in the ring. He can be a good boxer, he can move, he can stand and slug if need be. Pretty much an all-around fighter. His amateur career was outstanding. 260 victories, only 10 defeats. As we mentioned earlier, an Olympic gold medalist. An exchange of left jabs. Barrera sometimes throws the jab almost out as an afterthought. But his big punches are his power punches, that left hook to the body especially. McKinney really uses his jab as a weapon. That left hand on the borderline, but McKinney does not complain to referee Pat Russell. Barrera slowed down a little in this round after that blistering pace that was set in the first 2 rounds. Half a minute to go in round 3. Good counter right hand by McKinney, but now Barrera answers right back. Barrera seemed almost insulted by the fact that McKinney hit him, and he answered back with a salvo with his own shots. Barrera showing a little bit of lateral movement there and trying to counter McKinney some in this round.
El cuarto y el quinto round fueron de Barrera. Volvió a pisar el acelerador como si el daño recibido no hubiera existido. Avanzó sin descanso, castigando con furia el cuerpo y la cabeza de su rival, recordándole quién mandaba en ese ring.
Magnificent, his conditioning always superior. As you can see, he's not drawn a deep breath yet. He has not even opened his mouth yet in terms of breathing. Now McKinney getting that jab to work, and it's a good one. Marco Antonio Barrera with the toughest test of his career right here against a former world champion who has lost only once in 30 fights. Barrera unbeaten in 39. Barrera, it appears, being bothered a little by that McKinney jab. But now Barrera launches a right hand that backs McKinney up. Barrera hoping to slow down McKinney with those body shots, keep him in punching range where he can unload those power blows. Working on the body, this could pay off big for him in later
Cada
rounds.
golpe que conectaba al cuerpo le arrancaba un gesto de dolor al estadounidense, y el público, que ya estaba de pie, rugía con cada combinación.
There's no doubting the bravery of Kennedy McKinney in the ring. He's a courageous fighter in addition to being a very able boxer. He proved that in his title-winning effort with Welcome Nacida. And McKinney getting to work. Barrera trying to fight off the ropes. This is an unusual position for Barrera. It is usually he who has his opponent pinioned up against the ropes. Barrera looks in terrific shape, however. I don't even think he's taking a rest here, but he's trying to fight off the ropes, and McKinney is coming on. No question about it. McKinney enjoying a good fourth round. Chavez trying to counter at times. But McKinney having success in round 4. There's that right hand by McKinney. Good uppercut inside by Barrera. A different strategy from Marco Antonio Barrera than we've seen before, laying back in this round and now trying to come on. Red hot action here in round 4, and here comes Barrera. Barrera with a big rally at the end of the round. Crowd roaring at the Forum as Barrera winds up. After McKinney had dominated the first 2.5 minutes of the round. The rounds are flying by. Marco Antonio Barrera, the champion in the white trunks. Kennedy McKinney, the challenger and former IBF champion, in the gold and red trunks. And these two are setting a blistering pace. It is just what we hoped for and expected. Barrera is always just tremendously intense. And McKinney, although he mouthed off during the week and tried to get inside Barrera's head, as we see that right hand of McKinney snap Barrera's head back again, has been a professional completely in that ring tonight. There have been no shenanigans, no talking, none of the ridiculous posturing that we see sometimes at fights. These two guys are professionals, and it's been all business in there tonight. Good combination by McKinney. Backs Barrera up again. Barrera into that same spot along the ropes where he spent much of last round. Now he slides off. There's that counter right by McKinney, a thing of beauty. Barrera just missed that right hand. McKinney again enjoying success here in round number 5, but now Barrera, just like he did the last round, answering back in the final minute. McKinney uses his shoulder to push Barrera off of him, to shove him back, and draws a warning from Pat Russell. Good left hook to the body by Barrera. McKinney complaining of a low blow. Pat Russell ignored the complaint. Final seconds now of round 5. End of the round, the two swap blows.
Llegó el sexto round y con él la guerra de verdad.
Look away from Barrera and at the referee. Protect yourself at all times in the ring is the old axiom of the ring. We are in round 6. Barrera starting a little faster here now in round 6 than he did in rounds 4 and 5. McKinney showing some bruising underneath each eye. McKinney would appear to be behind on points in this fight to Barrera right now, but must keep in mind that he was, for all intents and purposes, beaten in his title-winning effort against Welcome Nocita when he scored a knockout in the 11th round. Hot exchange between the two there. Ooh, a good right uppercut by McKinney in close. And Barrera just comes right back. Barrera had a fight similar to this in Las Vegas at Caesars Palace against former bantamweight champion Eddie Cook, where the two swap blows and Barrera finally just outwilled him. Now, this is a tremendous battle of wills between these two tonight. And McKinney has landed a shot that has sent Barrera sliding back along the ropes. And in a little bit of difficulty, it appears. McKinney has Barrera backing up. An unusual strategy, if that is one actually being employed by Barrera, because normally we see him pressing forward always. But now Barrera answering back. Oh, that was a good left hook in close, but here's McKinney right back. A tremendous battle between these two here in round number 6.
Barrera tenía a McKinney contra las cuerdas, conectando golpe tras golpe sin que el estadounidense pudiera escapar. Parecía que era cuestión de segundos, pero McKinney no se rindió. Respondía con el orgullo intacto, lanzando sus propios golpes, negándose a caer. La pelea se volvió un intercambio brutal, una trinchera donde ninguno daba un paso atrás.
Look at these two go at it. Right hand Barrera, and a right hand by McKinney right back. Unbelievable action. It's turning into a Pier 6 brawl. No science here. Here comes Barrera now. McKinney staggers back. McKinney in trouble. Giving way some. The two just exchanging blows. Brutal to watch. Unbelievable action. Hard right by McKinney and a right by Barrera. End of the round.
El séptimo round siguió por el mismo camino. Dos guerreros dejándolo todo, golpe por golpe, sin ciencia ni táctica, solo corazón y voluntad pura.
Fans now rallying to Barrera, chanting Mexico, Mexico. McKinney was giving way at the end of the round, but still dangerous. Barrera with that big left hook in that exchange. Scintillating action. Hope you're enjoying this HBO World Boxing production tonight. Glad you're with us around the world. McKinney's still dangerous, you better believe it. Strong right hand nearly turned Barrera around. Barrera often, when he gets hurt or stung, will come firing back. Approaching the halfway mark of round number 7. Barrera, now remember, has been warned on a couple of occasions for low punches. There's been nothing really blatant, but McKinney complained once and he has been warned. Oh, good combination by McKinney. Came right back and straightened Barrera up. That silences the Barrera fans. Good body work by Barrera. McKinney answers back with that tremendous right of his. And again, McKinney with the right hand. Barrera says, come on, bring it to me. And McKinney is doing just that. McKinney very dangerous with that right hand. Kennedy McKinney dominating the action here now, having a strong round 7. Again, a slight warning from Pat Russell to Barrera to keep the punches up. Half minute to go in round 7. Good jab by McKinney. We haven't seen much of that in the last few rounds as he's been willing to exchange and go toe-to-toe with Barrera. And a fabulous right hand that McKinney has shown here tonight. And a great left hook to the body that Barrera has displayed. Final seconds of round 7 in what is absolutely a war of attrition between these two. Belonged to Barrera. I thought McKinney had the edge in that round. And referee Pat Russell went over to the corner of Barrera between rounds and said, I'm going to give you a real hard warning about the low blows. Keep them up.
Llegó el octavo round, y con él, el momento que hizo temblar al Foro. Barrera salió aún más decidido, avanzando sin parar, castigando al estadounidense con una presión que no tenía respuesta.
McKinney was staggered slightly in round 1 in the opening minute. The two have exchanged brutal salvos at times in this fight, but each man has chosen to just stand his ground and hang in there. A courageous performance by both of these fine fighters. I assume in England tonight, Naseem Ahmed is taking close notes at what he's watching with Barrera and McKinney. Possible opponent for him in the future. Now again, McKinney complaining about the low blows. McKinney goes right back to that jab. It's a nice jab Kennedy has. And he wants to use it to keep Barrera off balance, but more than that, to open up the avenue for his straight right hand, which is so quick and usually follows that left hand jab. Barrera, who is hopeful of replacing Julio Cesar Chavez in the future as the legend and the idol of Mexico. As you can see, he bears a facial resemblance to Julio and in some ways fights much like him.
Faltaba exactamente un minuto para que terminara el round, cuando Barrera conecta limpio y manda a McKinney a la lona.
Good right hand by McKinney as Barrera got lazy for a second. Hard combination by Barrera puts McKinney down.
El Foro explota. McKinney logra recuperarse, se pone de pie, pero Barrera no le da ni un segundo para respirar y vuelve a conectar con furia, mandándolo al piso por segunda vez.
That was a hard knockdown as Barrera comes forward to try to finish McKinney off, and McKinney is down again. Gets up.
Tercera caída y la pelea terminaba automáticamente. Barrera se lanzó encima buscando el golpe final. La campana lo salvó. Aquel que había humillado al mexicano antes de la pelea, Ahora estaba acabado frente a su propio público, sosteniéndose de las cuerdas mientras su esquina intentaba reanimarlo. Pero esto no había terminado.
Knockdown rule is in effect under WBO rules. One more knockdown and the fight is over. Barrera with a big combination. Barrera moving forward. McKinney not punching back. Barrera on the verge of a knockout victory. Inside the final 10 seconds of the round. McKinney now trying to fight back. Barrera a huge round. Can McKinney survive? Waiting for the bell. There it is. Here we go into round 9. Kennedy McKinney, the former champion, and terrible difficulty in round 8. Marco Antonio Barrera on top now and trying to press his advantage. Left hook by Barrera to start things off. Barrera putting on a magnificent performance. McKinney in trouble again, trying to use all of his experience and all of his wisdom in the ring and all of his technique to hold off this force that is known as Marco Antonio Barrera. McKinney right now trying to get some kind of a rhythm, trying to get up on his toes, just trying to get himself in the fight. And Barrera chasing after. There's the couple of left jabs by Barrera. Looking for the opening for a big punch. McKinney wants to move and try to get his jab going again, but Barrera's not giving him any room. Barrera has him pinioned up against the ropes. McKinney trying to fight off of him. McKinney with all the courage that we expected, that he has shown before in his career. And again, that straight right hand, still a potent weapon by Kennedy McKinney. McKinney would probably just like to get through this round if he can, not take too much damage and get another minute's rest and then try to come back and fight hard in round 10. But we're only halfway through the 9th right now. McKinney literally running away from Barrera. McKinney in a survival mode right now. Now McKinney's eye is closing. His left eye is closing rapidly. And he's down again. 4, 5, 6. Pat Russell keeping Barrera in a neutral corner. This is what Barrera wanted after that incident at the press conference this week when he was insulted by McKinney. Barrera on the verge of retaining his championship in this scintillating fight. Third knockdown of this fight. "20 seconds to another minute's rest for McKinney, who is in terrible difficulty and probably falling out of it now on the judges' cards. McKinney looks very weary. He looks very tired and discouraged too as he throws the jab out. That's from fatigue. He's not normally wild with that right hand. And underway. McKinney asked the doctor not to stop it, said, "I'm all right." 10th round, yeah, 3 to go. McKinney was down twice in round 8, once more in round 9. He landed many potent shots through the first 7 rounds. It was, we told you, was simply a battle of attrition. Who would wear down? A battle of wills. And it has been McKinney who finally has given way. Round 6 was as fine a round as I think you'll ever see in boxing. Barrera trying to set up the big knockout punch with his jabs, looking for it with the right hand. Even in this much trouble, you can see the experience of Kennedy McKinney. Look at that right hand by McKinney as he comes back. Another right hand. That one hurt Barrera. Barrera in a little bit of trouble, and he takes a left. And Barrera staggering a little bit. Barrera's in some trouble. That right hand by McKinney, he felt it. And Barrera's in trouble as he staggers back against the ropes. Do you believe this? Kennedy McKinney turning it around. Both fighters absolutely weary from the pitched battle, and it is Barrera who is in trouble. here in round 10 as McKinney comes forward. McKinney now with body blows, and Barrera in danger of going down. Barrera has never been down in his career. Unbelievable drama here at the Great Western Forum in round number 10 as McKinney, who was on the verge of being knocked out in the 8th and 9th rounds, has Barrera in trouble, and now Barrera answers back. McKinney is so far behind on points, you would think that he would need a knockout or at least to score some knockdowns here to get himself back into the fight in terms of the judges' scorecards. Barrera seems to be coming back to himself once again. Now he fights off the ropes. Good right hand by McKinney, and Barrera's mouthpiece went flying out. Barrera again hit with a right, and he's in trouble. McKinney answering back in a dramatic turnaround here in round number 10. Kennedy McKinney and Marco Antonio Barrera exchanging punches. Barrera fires back. Absolutely brutal fight to watch. Oh, referee Pat Russell picked that moment to put the mouthpiece back in the mouth of Kennedy McKinney. That did not seem the most opportune time to do it. Certainly not for Kennedy McKinney, who's having a huge round. The referee is supposed to pick a good moment where the action is sparse. Now the bell sounds to end the round, and Barrera had a very difficult round and a great round for Kennedy McKinney. They're quite clearly trying to rouse Barrera in his corner. They were slapping him in the corner. Barrera appeared a little discouraged there, and he had a very, very rough 10th round. This fight is somewhat reminiscent of the flyweight championship fight we saw here at the Forum last summer, in which an unheralded Thailand fighter by the name of Saman Sarchadarong fought Chiquita Gonzalez, the great light flyweight champion. Gonzalez had him down in the 5th and 6th rounds, and then in the 7th, out of nowhere, Sarchadarong knocked Chiquita out of the ring and knocked him out to win the fight. As we mentioned, the Forum has gathered a reputation as the house of upsets in recent years, and Marco Antonio Barrera does not want to be the latest victim of that here tonight. Barrera seems a little unsure of himself as we start round 11. McKinney showing courage that just has to come from within. Answering back in round 10. And now Barrera, perhaps refreshed by the 1 minute's rest, here in round 11, trying to come on strong.
En el 10º round ocurrió algo que nadie esperaba. McKinney, con el ojo izquierdo casi cerrado y las piernas pesadas, encontró su derecha una vez más. Conectó limpio. Y Barrera, por primera vez en toda su carrera, tocó la lona. La multitud enmudeció. El mexicano que nunca había caído estaba en el piso. McKinney olió la sangre. Fue hacia adelante, tirando todo lo que le quedaba, buscando el knockout que le daría vuelta a la pelea por completo. Barrera estaba en peligro real. Contra las cuerdas, recibiendo golpes, al borde de caer por segunda vez. Pero no cayó.
Trouble with his footing, but McKinney has scored the first of the knockdowns that he needs, perhaps. Now Barrera trying to answer back. This fight has had many of the elements of the really great fights that we've seen in recent years. Unbelievable drama unfolding in this Great Western Forum ring here this evening. There have been 4 knockdowns in the fight. Barrera was knocked down in this, the 11th round. McKinney down twice in the 8th and once in the 9th. Barrera was on the verge of going down in the 10th. It is McKinney who is coming on now in the late rounds, though. Barrera hurt badly in the 10th, dropped here in the 11th. And McKinney could possibly now get a 2-point margin from the judges, although he's staggered with a right hand by Barrera. Bell ends the round. Pat Russell has to jump between the two.
Llegó el último round. Ya no quedaba nada que guardar. Ambos lo sabían. Barrera salió a terminar lo que había empezado. Ignoró el cansancio, ignoró el dolor e ignoró los golpes que seguía recibiendo. Avanzó, siempre hacia adelante. Conectó al cuerpo, McKinney dobló. Siguió tirando y McKinney fue al piso. Se levantó.
And that would seem to cinch a decision victory for Barrera. McKinney's going to have to come with something very strong here late in the fight. Fifth knockdown of the fight. Two have been controversial, that one and the knockdown of Barrera. McKinney still very dangerous. He has shown in the last 2 rounds that he can indeed hurt Barrera. We all knew this would be Barrera's stiffest test, and it certainly has been that. Fans chanting Barrera, and Marco Antonio responds to that chant by moving forward. No knockdown. He actually tripped over the outstretched leg of Barrera. Left hook to the body by Barrera. Down goes McKinney. Down goes McKinney from that left hook to the body. Pat Russell was saying no knockdown, but that definitely was a blow to the body that put him down. No question about it. McKinney in danger of going down again. Barrera looking for the finisher. 1 minute to go. High drama at the Forum. It's McKinney in trouble now in round 12. And down he goes from the right hand. The fight is over.
Barrera volvió a conectar y esta vez no pudo recuperarse. La pelea había terminado. Barrera le hizo tragar sus humillaciones a punta de puño, sin necesidad de responder con palabras. Porque esa noche, el mexicano habló con los guantes. Si te gustó esta historia y querés seguir viendo peleas como esta, suscríbete. Hay muchas más historias como la de Barrera esperando ser contadas.